Sounds delicious. Yeah.
Thank you, Kelsey. I like the idea that it's dark chocolate. It kind of gives you that boost. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like really good. And like I was surprised because I was kind of like I'm always leery of healthy desserts and they're not so healthy, but like
Yeah.
they still
But half
taste really
healthy.
good. There's also like chocolate chunks. I use chunks versus chips.
So do
Okay.
I.
So that's what we had, which I think also kind of helped because it made it more chocolatey.
Yeah. Awesome. So everyone, she put her recipe link in the chat, and I'll gather those to send out afterwards. Thank you, Kelsey. I'm going to switch to my screen to share with you a really fun video that Mantha prepared for us because she couldn't make it. And I hope it's optimized. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Yep. So she says, caveat, one iPhone may have been dropped in fudge during the making of this video. And she also wanted to say this is her first attempt to do a food demo video. She didn't have the things she needed at home to get the right overhead shot without taping to the ceiling. So this is what came out. She's really loving to hear from you all what you think of just the style and format of the video. So this is going to be a no churn ice cream, and she loves no churn because one, not everyone has an ice cream maker. Two, it takes up way less freezer space if you do have an ice cream maker. And three, she believes it comes out a bit creamier. So I'm going to play it and enjoy. Sorry, we'll see if it comes back. Don't you hate this? You're getting the gist of it. She's filling all four. right to the end. And she's got this really great scoop. And I'll stop it and come back. Hello, hello. So that was pretty fun. I'll send that video out so you can watch it in its entirety. So she concocted this recipe. She's tried some different no churns, and she calls it the no churn chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream with fudge swirl. So she's covering all the bases. And she uses this Ben & Jerry recipe for the edible cookie dough that you can get at, I'll send that link out. You can get at the Ben & Jerry's website. She used mini chocolate chips for the chocolate chip cookie dough and made 24 cookie balls, and then she froze them for 30 minutes prior to making so that she could toss them in without them sticking. And any leftover cookie dough she could leave in the fridge up to a week, or you eat it as you make ice cream, she said. And then the ice cream recipe, a lot of them use the heavy whipping cream and sweetened condensed milk, and this is no different. After the dough was made and frozen, for those cookie balls, she said the ice cream process took about 20 minutes. And the longest part is waiting for it to freeze 5 to 7 hours, which she said is best. But she did take this out after 4 hours because she wanted to try it. It wasn't super firm, but it was actually not liquidy and was really creamy. She used those mini loaf pans rather than that one so that she could store them in the freezer easily, and also so she could take smaller amounts out at a time. Each mini loaf serves 2 to 4 people, depending on how much ice cream you like. She doesn't fully wrap the ice cream when freezing for the first 5 to 7 hours, especially if it's got that topping like fudge, because then it won't pull off. And then once it's fully frozen, though, she recommends wrapping the entire thing up so it doesn't get freezer burn or freezer taste. Finally, she used the Trader Joe's chocolate fudge and fondue jar for that fudge on the top. So I'm going to make it. I have never made my own ice cream because I kind of thought, well, it'd be better if I had an ice cream maker. What do you guys think? Yummy?
Yeah, it was yummy. There was an article yesterday in the New York Times about Ben & Jerry, and they said that if you leave ice cream in the freezer too long, it disintegrates. I had no idea.
Oh, wow. Well, she did say when you make
it fast.
Oh, when you make the Ben & Jerry's recipe does, it's eggless, so you don't have that risk of salmonella. And then they also say I think it's you toast your flour, so that also gets rid of the possibility of salmonella or E. coli, because none of us should really eat raw flour.
It reminds me, there's a similar recipe, which is maybe where Mantha got her motivation or whatever, inspiration. Yeah. And it's on that Nadia's show. I don't remember what it's called. Time to Eat on Netflix. If anybody's watched that, she was on British Bake Off.
Fantastic. Nice. So if you have any comments for Mantha, I'll send that link so you can watch it in whole, so we don't have that delay there. She'd probably love to hear from you. I am gonna go to my screen and I am gonna show you what I did. Let's see if I can navigate. Got a lot of things open. So I'm gonna share my screen and go up.
Made a truck?
Made a truck. So if you came in early, Kayla and I were talking about, we're dealing with a lot of construction, and they are putting in, it's called the Shepherd Street Project for St. Paul. I think Brendan is on the line and he knows it's just loud, and they're right on our corner. So not really a great summer to work from home in terms of loud. So I can't be in my kitchen. I'm in a bedroom that is the quietest I can make it. So that's just to prove the point. I read Jane Brody in the New York Times, her health column, and it's really interesting to see these different columnists, and even ourselves, if we make a journal or keep note in some way, how we've changed what we talk about or write about since March. So March 13th, I think we're in our 21st week of remote work from home. And she wrote this in May, and she said she was sharing tips on how she's trying to stay healthy. She weighs in every morning, tries to keep within a 2-pound range, but has a daily treat to avoid feeling deprived. And she says a few graham crackers or a quarter cup of light ice cream. I say, maybe I will try that. So I bought the graham crackers and I had one. And I was like, well, this isn't going to do it. And if you notice, she also says for breakfast, she alternates between sliced banana and peanut butter, a bowl of spinach, diced roasted veggies, and a third of a can of soup, or Cheerios with walnuts, raisins, banana, and fat-free milk. So yeah, she's, we're not in the same wavelength there about treats.
A bowl of spinach for breakfast?
Isn't that hilarious? Well, sometimes I will stir fry greens and then throw a fried egg on top.
Yeah, that's like an omelet, but like just spinach.
Exactly.
Meal.
I just think to throw a can of soup heated for 30 minutes in the microwave, that must just make it so that it's, like a healthy bowl. Anyway, and then she writes, and coffee, of course, with a graham cracker. So she has a graham cracker in the morning and at night. That just was too austere for me. But then there I did. I had the graham crackers, and I don't usually have graham crackers. So I follow a lot of food bloggers, and the search function really helps all of us, I think, when we have an ingredient or a set of ingredients or a craving. So Sally's Baking Addiction is a blog I go to, and she had these no-bake chocolate peanut butter bars. These might be really well known, and maybe it's a Midwestern bar thing that is as well known as the Rice Krispie treats, but I'd never made them before. They're super easy. I also didn't want to turn on the oven as much. We're in this household sharing workspace. So this is a no-bake, and if you Google no-bake desserts, you're going to get many different sites that will have from 10 to 75 no bakes. But I do endorse this one because it has really just 6 ingredients. So it's just butter melted, the graham cracker crumbs. Oh, I guess it's just 5. Powdered sugar, confectioner's sugar, peanut butter. I know it made it 6. I used both creamy and chunky, and then the semi-sweet chocolate chips. It makes an 8x8 or 9x9 inch square pan, and I think it's a really fun one to do with kids. This, crushing the graham cracker or grandkids, and it's not as sticky messy as Rice Krispie treats for them to get their hands in. I reduced the powdered sugar, and I also added chunky peanut butter for one of the stages. So you just mix those crushed graham cracker crumbs, you use 8 of them, with, I think it asks for 2 cups of powdered sugar, but I reduced it to 1.5. And then I think it's 2 cups of peanut butter, and that's where I use the chunky peanut butter. And that presses in super easy. Like I said, little hands can do that without, a lot of mess. And then I use the creamy peanut butter. You just use 2 tablespoons of creamy peanut butter with your chocolate chips, which I think is a cup. I melt mine in the microwave. I hardly ever double boil anymore unless I have really expensive chocolate. Then I might double boil it. And spread it on top. That's it. And it's great because it stores in the fridge. And so 1, it's not staring at you, and 2, I just love cold chocolate. So it hardens up. This is, and it cuts really easily. And so instead of Jane Brody's vegetable soup or graham cracker, I just have a little treat. And what's great is if you're really missing the office and the office culture, you can just leave that one little bit of bar in the pan forever in that Minnesota nice way. One time our son wrote a note on the fridge about some ice cream left in the freezer, and the note in his scrawly handwriting said, who leaves this much ice cream in the freezer? It's ridiculous. Because it was just like 2 spoonfuls. And look, see, look, how, no, that's just too austere compared to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another treat that I make, so I'm not having so much chocolate or sweets or sugar, but I am actually having the two together, you know, for an extra special treat. I drink a lot of tea, and I was looking for just the right Indian chai. And, you know, I love going to places to get chai lattes or, you know, other tea drinks. And I'm not doing that. I'm really staying close to home. Tea Source is really one of my go-to spots for tea. And they do online orders, and they do pick up contactless or curbside up in their Roseville store. But the little store in Highland hasn't really been open. But I've landed on this Toothless Tiger Chai. So it's loose tea, and it just has this great delicate blend of Indian spices. And the recipe I use uses milk. You can just do it without milk, but that's just really a great treat to have a warm, sweet, spicy drink. So I double this recipe so that I can share it here at home. So I just bring 2 cups of water to boil, and I add 4 teaspoons of the chai. I boil it for 5 to 7 minutes, and it just smells great. Then I turn it down so that it has that active simmer, and I add 2 cups of milk. And then I strain that loose tea into a teapot and add sugar. So there's the boil. Then I add the milk, and you simmer it. It's really just to get the milk up to that hot level, and then strain it and drink it.
Hey, Pamela.
Yeah.
How do you think it would work with boiling a combination of milk and heavy cream?
Oh my God, it would be amazing.
Okay, because I tend to use heavy cream rather than milk because reasons, and I thought maybe boiling heavy cream might be on its own might be too much, but if you were to maybe thin it out with some milk.
Yeah, mix it, and just don't let it boil too long, or you'll get that it'll skim on the bottom of your pan. So
Yeah.
No, I think
Okay.
it's just creamy. I haven't tried it with almond milk or oat milk.
Mhm.
I don't know if there are any chai aficionados out there. Anything you want to add? So anyway, this is $9 for 4 ounces. Toothless Tiger Chai. And then just before I go, so Sally's Baking Addiction, I'll put that link in. You can see she does bread, cakes, cookies, cupcakes. And I find her recipes easy to read. They're not too, you know how food blogs, wordy, really great photos. And then I think she has a great following. I read the comments in 2 places in my world: food, you know, recipes, and also when I shop online. I don't read comments, obviously, with the newspaper because you'll go crazy, but there are some really good comments on her recipe. And then before I go, I'm trying to expand my, you know, my reading of food bloggers, and I do go to Epicurious, and I do go to Food 52, and Food 52 often then will kind of advance the food community in ways that are more than just recipes, but just bringing community together. And this June post has 10 Black food bloggers to follow. I love Michael Twitty, the woman who published the book Black Girl Baking. So I recommend going, I'll send that link too, but Food 52 Black food bloggers. And now I'll get off and go back to the meeting and have Carrie, unless anybody has any questions, have Carrie Kennedy talk a little bit about what's been nourishing her this summer. Hi, Carrie.
Okay, there, I'm unmuted. Hi, everyone. So first of all, I have not had my hair cut or colored since December.
Oh, you
My
look
appointment was
awesome.
the week we went into stay at home. and I canceled it. And so now my hair's longer than it's been in forever, and I just braid it, and my bangs are down to here, so they fit in the braids now.
Looks
And
good.
since I now live where I work, I just wear tie-dye t-shirts every day. So
Yeah, who cares?
Looks
I
good.
have not had a lot of time to experiment, nor have I been very healthy because I've been very busy working. But we decided to join a farm share for the first time ever this year. And we are actually loving it. It is just down the road from me. It's called the Good Acre. I'll put a link in the chat after I'm done talking. Their farm share is full for the summer. They have a fall one. I don't know if that's open to everybody or just summer share people, but I highly recommend them. I've never done a farm share. I have no idea if this is what they're usually like. And of course, we're all showing up in our cars with masks. I do have a gardening mask that I wear when I pick mine up because my daughter's been sewing like crazy and she made me a gardening one. But they have a little note every week of what's in the box so that you know how to store everything, what's the most perishable. They send out an email that's got links with recipes for all the food they give you. They have information about farmers, all kinds of stuff. One of the things, and this is the not healthy portion of my my stay at home, one of the things they do is they include a cocktail recipe in every single box. So I've been experimenting with vegetable cocktails. Anybody who's a friend of mine on Facebook or follows me on Instagram has probably seen the fun pictures I've been taking, but like I've had fun little drinks that have like more vegetables left than anything when I'm done drinking them. So that's one of the things I've been doing, and I'll put a link to that. So there's somebody who actually coordinates those recipes and adds them. So that's mostly what I've been doing in my fun. I've also been having fun cooking vegetables. Like I look up recipes, and last night I realized, oh my God, it's Tuesday. I'm getting more vegetables tomorrow. So I opened my crisper drawer and took out as many of the larger things that were left as I could and chopped them out and put them in a pan with oil and salt and pepper and ate it for dinner. So that was my exciting thing. But one of the drinks that I love is called Cool Azza, and it is made with cucumbers. And what you do is you make cucumber syrup. So I'm going to quickly make cucumber syrup. I don't have multiple cameras anywhere, so I'm just going to make it and show you what it looks like after it's done. But it calls for 2 cups of sliced cucumbers. So there's 1, 2, and then you add in a cup of sugar, which I have split into 2 half cups because I don't own 3 cups of measuring cups, just 2 sets.
Carrie, were those sliced cucumbers?
Yes, you slice them.
No skin?
There's skins on them. So
Okay.
it's sliced skinned cucumbers, 2 cups of it, thinly sliced, 1 cup of sugar. You close the Ziploc bag. You put it in your refrigerator for 24 hours, and it turns into cucumber syrup. You have to you squish it around occasionally, like I check on it, and you end up with these 2 items, but they're together. So the bag is full of sliced cucumbers and syrup, and you pour the syrup into, you strain the syrup into a container, and then you've got simple syrup to make drink recipes. And I save the cucumbers and garnish drinks with them. So I have made the Cool as a Cucumber recipe. I've also actually used it in non-alcoholic drinks as well. I made a really yummy lemonade limeade with cucumber syrup as the sweetener. So I've just been playing around with stuff like that. And you know, my husband, who claims to love fresh cucumbers, didn't eat all of last week's cucumbers, so I just stole the rest of them to make more syrup because I'm almost out. So that's my excitement. That's what I've been doing. And no, Brendan, I don't drink on the job. I did keep telling Pam that I'm not going to make a drink because my boss will be there, and I don't think a liquid lunch would be good. I would fall asleep.
I love it. That's awesome. What a good idea by your CSA.
Yeah, it's been great fun. And and like I said, I've never belonged to a CSA before. I have no idea if it's typical or not, but they have background on all the farmers. They have sustainable stuff. They have, the other thing they have that they offer for extra is you can buy flowers. So every couple of weeks I decide to buy some fresh flowers, and I have to arrange them. I got home right before this started, and I just plopped them in there, but I'll do that after work. So it's been a blast for me because it's at least been a small amount of something different I can do when we're all working from home, or as I've been trying to say, I live where I work.
Yes, I live where I work.
I live where I work, except on Fridays where I do actually go into the station. And I'm excited to see Sarah's mask there because that's apparently what the masks look like, and I'll be picking mine up on Friday morning when I come in.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
There you go. And I'll put links in for
I
people.
like seeing your home kitchen too.
Yeah. As I like to say, people who, if you can't tell, so that's a chalkboard behind us with a menu plan. And people will come over and say, oh my God, you're so organized. And my answer is the menu plan is nearly 2 years old now. We're really good when we first put the chalkboard up, and then we got really bad. And we didn't do a very good job with the chalkboard paint, and it doesn't erase well. And since we weren't really menu planning, now it's just become artwork.
Oh, awesome. Well, Kelsey,
Sarah, are you at work?
Oh, so go ahead.
Sarah, are you at work?
Yep.
Ah,
I'm
At the
jealous.
office.
how is that?
Weird. It's just, it's John Z and I are usually here on the same day.
Yeah,
I've been coming in once a week just to do like the physical mailings and stuff for development. And we still get checks through the mail too.
yeah, exactly. Oh, well, thank you for doing that for us.
Hmm.
So we have 11 people on the line. I'm going to have Kelsey just see if we have a little bit of conversation we can do. We're early, we had a couple people who had to drop out, but I'll give it to you, Kels.
Yeah, no, I mean, if anybody else has fun recipes or something they've tried, or even just like a delicious dinner they made they want to share, I don't know. Anybody have things to
Yes.
bring up?
I have a thing.
Go
Can
for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna share. How do I do this? Where's the thing? Oh, it's down here. How do you share your screen? Oh, never mind. There's a button that says share screen. Okay. All right. So can you guys see this pizza recipe?
Yes.
Okay. So this woman, this Tara Lynn, I've been following her since her blog was on Tumblr. She is more of a cook and less of a baker. And she thrives on ads, as you can see. But this recipe for copycat Pizza Hut dough it's absolutely perfect. Like it works for me every single time. It's not her original recipe, but it's the only recipe where I've ever used dehydrated milk in the recipe. She uses, let's see, she uses non-fat dry milk. I just used full fat the other day. It's totally fine. Like it doesn't seem to make a difference. She also proofs her yeast, which I will do unless a recipe tells me not to do it. I usually proof my yeast just because sometimes I keep yeast for a really long time. I gotta make sure it's still viable. And she also has this sauce recipe, which I didn't think was anything special. What I'm really here for is the pizza dough. So she proofs it, and then you add all your dry ingredients. It makes this really shaggy dough, and then you turn it out on a surface and you just knead it until it's smooth. It's not something that you really have to worry about over kneading necessarily. She cooks with her dog. So she portioned it out into 3 different balls of dough, which I usually do as well. She was trying to freeze one, and I never saw how that came out. But since it's I don't know, since it's a yeast dough, I was kind of wary about freezing it because I didn't want it to rise too much after I take it out of the freezer to thaw it, and that seemed like a lot of work. So I normally will just make 3 pizzas. In the recipe, it calls for 6 additional tablespoons of the vegetable oil, for 3 tablespoons each for your pan. She's only making 2 pizzas at this point. That is because when you cook it in the oven, you need that much oil so that it gets that like crispy, like greasy outside, kind of just like a Pizza Hut pan pizza would. And it does, and it's real good. The thing that I'm probably going to try next is putting them in ramekins instead of pie plates. Um, there's really not a mathematical equation that she follows for dividing the dough into the portions. It's just kind of whatever fits. It is a very thick dough on the bottom, so like it can really withstand like a lot of toppings. So I will usually do I'll do sauce, I'll do cheese, I'll do pepperoni or ham or whatever, but it can also really withstand like watery vegetables too. Like if you put a bunch of raw mushrooms on there, the water from the mushrooms isn't going to make the dough soggy. It's just really, really strong. And it's just worked consistently for me every single time. And I am so grateful that I get to share it with you guys. I love this recipe so much. And now I have to figure out how to stop sharing my screen. Oh, there we go.
Put the link in the chat.
I'm gonna right now.
That looks so good.
It's perfect. Like I love this pizza dough recipe.
Is it kind of like the old school Pizza Hut? Like, yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's obviously like you're not cooking it in like a cast iron, and so it doesn't have the same type of crust-ish, but it's got the same like kind of broken bubbly feel on the outside, and it absorbs the oil really well. It doesn't make a soggy dough. Like I've tried to make this soggy. The last time I made it, which was just a couple of days ago, I threw a bunch of like onions and red peppers and mushrooms on it, and I thought it was just gonna like bog the dough down, but it really didn't. And you're not par baking the dough either. You're just rising it, putting your toppings on, and then throwing it in the oven.
Oh, wow. I'm going to try it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love getting those Pizza Hut individual pan pizzas when I was in high school.
Yeah,
Me too.
Mm-hmm. God, those pizzas were the best.
Nice. Anyone else have anything? Oh, Brendan, I think you're muted. I don't know if you're trying to say something. Okay.
Yeah, I just thought because people who know me, know that I consume a lot of poetry. And I was thinking of the last piece left Minnesota tradition and something that's in the antithesis of that. William Carlos Williams, one of my favorite poets. It's quick, don't worry. And again, not a Minnesotan. Here you go. This is just to say, I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. So he took the last plum.
I love it. Poetry and baking. You must be at the cabin. Ah, nice.
And weird because, of course, the whole goal of the cabin is not to work from the cabin.
Yeah.
First world problem, believe me, I understand.
Okay. Anyone else? And
well, I don't have anything to share. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say when we first stayed at home, I did a rash of like banana bread with chocolate chunks, not chips. And that was really good. But then I'm unfortunately married to somebody who does not really like baked goods. And so if I bake a batch of something, then I'm the only one eating it. So I'm trying not to do that.
Right.
Yes. And then also a week before we all got sent home to work at home, my 25-year-old moved back in with us. So he just had a bachelor party thing to go to last week. So of course he needed puppy chow, which he brought most of that home. So now we're eating that. But I would say both of those things are not really healthy, but I guess it's okay in limited quantities.
Exactly.
How do you eat puppy chow in limited quantities? How does that happen?
I'll eat it till it's gone and then it's done.
And that's the limit of the quantity.
yeah,
That's the limit.
I almost bought stuff to make puppy chow yesterday. I went to Target and I was like, I had my hand on the box and I was just like, I can't. I've just been eating like we just have so many desserts. Like we're a big dessert family, and so there's like boxes of cookies and like a ton of different ice creams, and like it's already so hard to say no. And like puppy chow is also like I cannot. I'll eat the whole thing.
So good. It's so
Yeah, that's
good.
why you're better off buying the bag because it only has 2 or 3 servings in it versus making a whole batch, which is like 10 servings.
Yeah, true. But when it's homemade, it's so good.
I know it is. Yeah.
My brother's been cooking a lot, so I was just or baking. But these were his eclairs.
Whoa.
They did not turn out, but apparently they tasted good. I didn't get to eat them, but he also made pound cake the other night. I don't think he's ever eaten pound cake before. He just was like, this could be fun. So yeah, that's his quarantine pastime lately, is baking like really sweet desserts and stuff. And then my mom says every time, okay, next time you have to make a real meal. So it balances out.
Yeah, that's okay. I feel like that happened to me as well. I was making a lot of desserts and then I was like, I have to stop. So I've been doing much more like actual cooking. Yeah. Actually, I think I told the community partnerships team this on our meeting, but I did my sister and I, for the premiere of Hamilton, we did a Hamil feast. So we did like 10 different items basically that were they weren't really Hamilton themed, but we came up with Hamilton themed names for them. So that was fun.
Oh, very fun. What was on the menu?
Oh my God. It was like so crazy. We got very into it, but I did mostly stuff from Sam Cass's cookbook. He was Obama's private chef, like while he was in the White House. I think I have a photo. My sister it was funny because like I was like, I'm gonna cook this, and then my sister was like, oh, let's make it all Hamilton themed. So then she came up with the whole menu, and then my mom was like, oh, well, like I'm gonna make like a Hamilton like centerpiece, and she like got out like the Hamilton book we have and like printed out pictures of like all the actors and stuff, which was just like very funny. It was just like it was very classic quarantine of just like, what else are we gonna do tonight? So I guess we'll just like go really full out in this like kind of stupid thing. But yeah, I mean, we did. Now I'm looking out here. So she like made it all themed. This was the very professional looking. She printed them out and put it at all our seats. But we did. You'll be back for more Pim's Cup. I'm not throwing away my shot of gazpacho. You can't say no to this spicy feta. History has its eyes on noosh, which was a baba ganoush. An escarole toast to freedom, which was like, escarole is like a type of green, so it was like a toast with ricotta and grilled escarole on it. Yeah, too close to the sun chicken wings. They were like, oh my God, they were so good. They were like pineapple, like cooked, citrusy, sort of spicy. Oof, they're really good. And then the risotto where it happened, which was a farro risotto. And then Take a Break strawberry cake, which was, I don't know if any of you saw the New York Times strawberry spoon cake. It was kind of making the rounds on the internet, for a while there. So I made that, and it's also incredibly good. So that's another, like, I would definitely make that. And you could make it with any fruit. Like we did it with strawberry, but it would be really good with peaches or like even like blackberries or like, I don't know, you could get creative with it. But yeah, so that was fun.
So fun. And I really liked some of your videos that you did from your kitchen.
Yeah.
I thought they were really
Thanks.
fun. Really. I don't know if you all have seen them, but they're on TPTO. You could, if you have a link, you could throw it in the chat.
Oh, sure. I can find it real quick.
You're good at it.
Thanks. Yeah, maybe we'll be making more once some things calm down with my current projects, but they were, I got some mixed, I think mostly people thought that the squash looked good, and then I got a few Facebook comments that were like, yeah, you can have fun with that. I'm not gonna bother. So I guess that's the nature of broadcast.
Yes. Kelsey, I did want to share, peaches are so good right now. I mean, just having a peach is amazing, but there's this grilled peach cobbler recipe that is super easy. And like Kelsey says, you know, you can just, I'll just share my screen real quick. I think you can all see it here. So you can do it in your broiler if you want, but again, you know, some of the folks we work with don't have air conditioning. Some of my friends don't. And also it's just kind of nice to try something new. So like all of those fruit recipes, it's basically, you know, flour and sugar, cinnamon, salt, nutmeg, and a little butter. And you put it in a bowl and grill that, and then you make a really easy biscuit topping, just flour and baking powder, sugar, then you add heavy cream and melt a little butter and stir that together, and then, you know, just like drop biscuits or like, you know, that you might make with a pot pie kind of thing. You just put it on top and you cover it with the grill lid, and you just grill it until it's brown, the lid alone. You don't have to put ice cream on it. And that with a little, I mean, you don't have to put a tinfoil on it. And so that with some ice cream was just really great. You can do it in your cast iron skillet. They in fact recommend that.
That looks so good.
Yeah.
Where have you been getting your peaches, Pam?
We really have not been going many places. So we've been in our bubble here in Highland Park, and we go to Oxendale's, just that little, you know, it's not a great store, but it's got some great things in it. However, we don't get our fruit. What?
On Randolph and Hamlin?
Yeah, so we don't get as much of our fruit there, although they are getting better, but we've been getting it at Lund Island, the peaches.
Yeah. We got some from Whole Foods this weekend, and they were really good. I was very surprised. There was like 3 left, so I was like, there's only 3 left. Somebody knows these are good. So I was like, I'm just gonna take them all, and they were really good. So, and my mom got more yesterday. So
yeah, love
Are these peaches that are like supplied by local farmers, or are they shipping them in from out of state?
I don't know. Mine didn't have a label on them where they're from. Typically, the good ones are from Colorado, which is kind of like, usually we aim to get Colorado ones, but I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't look. That's a good question. But like they're slicing so perfectly. And so just having them in the morning. But I'm gonna look next time, Sarah.
Me too. We'll have to report back.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So I don't know. Does anybody else? I guess we're getting down to it now a little bit, but yeah.
Well, just in case anybody cares or wants to see progress, so the cucumbers are already turning into syrup. It's like, I didn't believe it would really happen the first week I did it. So you actually do have to be patient, because it will get this, it turns like this whitish syrupy color, but you want to wait till it's clear. So it really does take 24 hours to get clear. And actually this, I didn't say this before, but this bag makes 12 ounces of syrup. Maximum. The first batch I did was 12 ounces. One of them only made like 10. I think it must just depend on how moist the cucumbers are, but I was amazed at how much syrup it made.
It's kind of interesting you mentioned that, because I did one of those cucumber, like the peanut butter, like spicy Asian-ish peanut cucumber things, and it had you salt them and just wait for them to drain, and I was like shocked at how much water came off of them in like 20 minutes maybe. It was crazy. I was like, glad I followed the rules.
Have you guys ever made lasagna, but you substitute the noodles for like eggplant noodles or zucchini?
It's not the same.
It's not the same. No, you're absolutely right. My point is, if one were to do that, then you use it's the same thing. You salt them and you have to wait for the water to drain off. And then just kind of pat them dry.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to try the brownie recipe, Kelsey, because one of the things my farm share, of course, has had a lot of the last 2 weeks is zucchini. And I'm the only person in my family that will eat it just sauteed. So when I opened the box today, I knew there was going to be more in there. I'm like, yeah, I can't eat any more sauteed. So I used to have a chocolate cake recipe with zucchini as the moisture base, and I can't find it. So now I'm going to try your brownies.
Yeah,
let me know how it goes. They turned out well. And we did do a cake as well. That was also good. It was like from my mom's like family fun cookbook from like when I was literally 2 years old. And it was good, but it was very like heavy, like in the sense of like almost to the point where I was like, I didn't want to eat that much of it. But there's a lot of recipes out there for zucchinis this time of year. So.
Oh yeah, because anybody who grows them or belongs to a farm share has more zucchini they can ever use.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've been shocked. We did not plant a lot of plants and we've had a lot. So
we grew them 1 year and never again. I figured, I can't eat that many of them or bake that much.
I have to go to another meeting, but I'll sign off by saying when the quarantine first started, I baked 3 New York Times recipes and threw them all away. And I bake a lot. I mean, I baked my entire life. So that was kind of depressing. So instead, I've been emailing back and forth with Frank Bruni, who's an opinion writer for the New York Times. So what can I say? I gave up on the baking for a while. But once the pumpkins are out, you will get pumpkin bread from scratch. And the recipe, I promise.
Perfect.
Take care, everyone.
I got to bounce too. Take care, guys.
Me
Thank you
too.
for inviting me.
all right. See ya.
Thank you, Pam.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you, everyone. Great to see you. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
I was definitely stalking everyone. I don't know if but my cat has fleas.
Oh.
So I've been dealing with that all day, and yeah, I'll be dealing with it probably for the rest of the month too. Oh, I have indoor cats. Indoor. How?
I'm so sorry. That's just a nightmare. I've dealt with that with a dog once, and we literally, like, the only time we finally got rid of him, I shouldn't tell you this, is when we moved. Like, we thought we had them gone, and then they came back the next year. I mean, it was a dog, and she was outside, but it's like when we finally moved into this house 25 years ago now or more, it was like, thank God, we gave her a flea bath and brought her here.
Yeah.
We didn't let her go anywhere else. It's like in the tub, flea bath, out of here, into the new house.
Once my so I have shared cat custody. So once my ex moves into his new place, I'm giving him the cats for a few days, and I want to like flea bomb the entire place and just like, get it all there. And right now I'm just trying to do what I can on their coats. But yeah, it was great to hear your recipes though. I'm super jealous, and I'll definitely be drinking tonight. So some of that sounds fun.
It's some
Look up
cucumber.
the cocktails. I've turned into like somebody who does happy hour every day because I have all these cocktails.
There is nothing wrong with that.
But they're fun.
I mean, even from Sam's note, it's been a cruel year. So there's nothing wrong with chocolate and cocktails.
Nope. Do what you gotta do to get through.
Yep.
I have not been eating healthy, believe me. Like, if I have to get back into my work clothes, I'm toast.
Yeah. I feel ya. I've been good about working out still, but like I don't walk at all anywhere.
Yep.
Like, and then also I'm just home all day, so the temptation to just grab a snack here and there is like so.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I went running today, and I have this one pair of leggings that I never wear because they always fall down. Like, they were just too big when I bought them initially. And I wore them today because they were like the last one left. I was like, it's fine, and they stayed up great. And I was just like,
You're like, did I want that to happen?
yeah, like I was just like, I guess this is kind of a win-lose because it's kind of nice to have another pair of leggings, but yeah, not a great.
I've been trying to walk every day, but I just don't get enough. And we actually finally last week got a treadmill. We've been kind of stalking Dick's off and on.
Nice.
And we really weren't like, we kept saying we should make space for it in case they ever have one. And last Tuesday, I said to Chip, check quick, see if they have one. He's like, they have 3 left. I'm like, buy it. So we go buy it, pick it up. Well, we bought it online, picked it up, had to drive home with it sticking out the back of the van. And then we're like trying to figure out getting it in the house. We almost dropped it. We put a hole in the wall going down the basement because it didn't really make the turn, but it's set up. And I've started running, like, because I haven't run at all. So, but it's just funny. And Chip has a job that normally when he's at the office, he doesn't get any steps. So we'll come home and I'll like give him a hard time. I'm like, I had 15,000 steps because I went on 3 Skyway walks. And I was like, I've never walked so much because we go for a lunch walk every day, except today. And I'm like, yeah, I've never walked so little because I'm not walking enough. I'm not parking 3/4 of a mile from work. I'm not walking the Skyways with Brendan. I don't have enough steps anymore.
Exactly. We have so many walkers in our neighborhood and a lot of kids walking with their parents, especially, when in June when they were all kind of bonding more. And there's this teenage kid who looks just right out of, you know, I don't know what he looks right out of, but he's just loping along, and he turns and looks at me and he goes, apparently we walk together now. And it was just so cute. It was like, oh, that's classic.
Oh yeah, there's so many people that do. There's this cuter, older male group of, it's like a bunch of old guys in the neighborhood. I've never seen them before. They walk every day, rain or shine. So if it's really sunny or if it's rainy, they all have umbrellas. They're all 6 feet apart. They're so cute.
Aw, so cute.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know. I've been trying to get out, but
Yeah, I gotta go. It's, oh my God, I have a meeting in 1 minute.
Yeah, I got one too.
Bye.
Thank you. That was really fun. Okay.
uh,
Ciao.
Bye.